Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to put together a delicious meal. It's inspired from the Bengali cuisine. I'm going to be making the raw banana kofta curry or the 𝗔𝗭𝗋 kofta, served along with some Basanti Pulao. It's a sweetish pulao packed with cashew nuts and raisins. Goes great with koftas, and I'm also going to be serving it along with some parathas, which you can always do if you don't like a sweetish pulao. So without wasting any time, let me just dive right in and show you how to put this meal together, from making the koftas to the pulao and putting the meal. So the 𝗔𝗭𝗋 kofta is made from raw bananas and the potatoes that are boiled together, and then we'll make a kofta. Typically, it's deep fried, or you can pan fry it, or you can make it in a paniyaram pan. And the gravy is typically very different from the North Indian style gravy of a kofta curry. This is more liquidy, and it's just simple flavors from the spices that are freshly ground and put together to make a delicious 𝗔𝗭 type of curry. So let's get started. The first step is to cook the bananas and the potatoes in a pressure cooker until they're soft. And after that, we will, roast the spices and powder them and make the kofta and the curries. Okay, let's get started. So I have about 2 bananas and 1 large potato over here. Just going to go ahead and add it into my pressure cooker. We'll add in some water and pressure cook it for about 3 to 4 whistles and turn off the heat and allow the pressure to release naturally. So the pressure is released completely. Now we're ready to open the pressure cooker. And the potatoes as well as the raw banana has cooked completely. I'm ready to peel the skin, put it in a bowl, and then we'll get started with the next steps. So we'll go ahead and peel the skin, and remember, the skin can actually be used to make a chutney. The raw banana skin, especially in the Bengali cuisine, is actually used up, and you can make sort of a chutney with it. We call it the tohel or in the South India, but you can also make a chutney with it. And the recipe is on my website. You should take a look at it. It's called raw banana peel chutney. So gently just break all the potato and banana pieces, and once we add all the spices, we will mash them up to make a kofta, okay? So into this, I'm going to add in some ginger, freshly chopped or grated is also fine, and some chopped green chilies. Add in some coriander powder, add it just a little bit to give in the mild flavors. Cumin powder, just a dash of red chili powder because we already have green chilies, and some salt to taste. So now this is your kofta mixture. We're just going to go ahead and mix all of this up and mash it to make it nice and smooth, and then shape them into balls. So into my pan, I'm going to add in some oil into the cavities. And once the pan warms up and oil is heated, we'll add in these kofta balls inside and then pan fry them until it is golden brown and lightly crisp on both the sides. Remember, this is already cooked. We just wanted a light crustiness on the top. Great. So this way, you just ensure that you use the right amount of oil and you don't have to deep fry, and you still have the great benefits of eating the bananas and the potatoes, high in nutrition, lots of minerals, vitamins, wholesome food, really. Now my next step is to make the bhaja masala, which is a very classic Bengali style garam masala, you may call it, but with just a combination of ingredients which are freshly roasted and brings in great flavors to the curry. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in all the spices. I have here cinnamon, cardamom and cloves, some black peppercorns, some cumin seeds, coriander seeds, and some somph, which is the fennel seeds. And each one makes a variation of a bhaja masala, but this is a really delicious one. It goes well over so many different curries, begun bhaja or the aloo bhaja. This is a bhaja masala. It's like a delicious bhaja masala which you can roast and add it into your various dishes. So the same one is going to be added into this curry. We're going to roast this until you see all the seeds crackling and you smell a delicious aroma of all the spices. About a minute, not more than that. And we'll add in the bay leaf also at this stage. Tear it up and add it in. And I can smell the delicious aromas of the spices coming through, and that's it. And I can see the seeds crackling as well. You can see them bouncing off the pan, and that's when you know all the work is happening out there. Wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the heat, and I'm going to pound it into a nice smooth mixture. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add this into my pestle and mortar, seal pattar. and pound it until it becomes nice and powdery. A little bit of coarseness always tastes nice in a curry. And that's it. In less than about a minute, mixture is nice and powdery and it's got that, coarse texture, and this is exactly how we want. So before we get into the pan mode, I'm going to take a small bowl and I'm going to make a slurry of a few ingredients, which is turmeric powder, a bit of red chili powder, and coriander powder. Just going to add some water into this and make a slurry until you get a smooth mixture, and this we're going to keep this aside. And next, into my preheated pan, I'm going to add in some mustard oil. Mustard oil brings in great taste and flavor into the Bengali cuisine, right? So it's one of the quintessential ingredients. And I'm going to add in some cumin seeds. You can also add kalonji to this and it tastes nice. Some ginger, finely chopped, once again, and then some coconut, just a tablespoon of it. I'm just going to gently roast all of this for a bit. Okay, once this is roasted, just going to go ahead and add in our ground masala. Give it a stir, and just about 1 tomato that is just pureed. Okay, remember this is going to be a curry-like consistency and not a thick North Indian style gravy. And I'm going to add in our slurry mixture, and I'm going to add about a cup of water, a cup and a half of water. I'm going to add in some salt as well to this and give it a stir. Now bring this mixture to a brisk boil. Boil it for about 5 minutes. It'll slightly thicken. You don't want it to become too thick. And after that, just add in the kofta pieces just right when you're ready to serve, and give it one brisk boil and then serve it along with some rice, which is what I'm going to show you next. And now that the mixture is coming to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and add in just a little bit of jaggery. You can also add sugar, and it heightens the flavor of the dish. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a taste. Turned off the heat. Just perfect. I can feel the crunchiness of the spices in my mouth, and it's just wonderful. Just a pinch of salt out there, and I think we'll be good. That's it, and I'm ready to serve this. Now over to our next dish, which is going to be a Basanti Pulao. And once that is done, I'll be ready to plate a wholesome dinner plate. So to begin, the first step is to roast the cashew nuts until they're nice golden brown, and then toss it along with the raisins until the raisins fluff up. Okay, so I'm just going to add like a tablespoon of ghee onto a pan. It's preheated. I'm going to go ahead and add the cashews. Remember, when roasting cashews, you can either add halved cashews or broken cashews or whole cashews, anything that you want, but lots of them, right? So go ahead and roast them on medium heat and not on high heat, because cashews need to get roasted evenly on all sides. And if you roast it on high heat, it'll just become brown too fast and it won't have that nice crisp texture. Keep stirring it until it becomes golden brown and crisp, about 2 to 3 minutes. So notice that the cashews are nice and golden brown, and this is just perfect. At this stage, I'm just going to go ahead and add in the raisins, the kishmish, to it, lots of it. Again, that's what brings in the mishti pulao also, as they call it. So you'll notice that the raisins are just about roasted when they start puffing up in the ghee, and that's about it. Don't roast it too much. You don't have to wait for them to get brown. You'll notice that the color of the raisins are slowly changing and some of them are puffing up. See this? Notice that? Notice that? Notice the raisins puffing up? That's just perfect. Now my next step is to cook the pulao into a pressure cooker. I'm going to be cooking it in a pressure cooker. Ghee, 2 tablespoons, absolutely required to bring in that flavor. And some cumin seeds, jeera. And we're going to add in some ginger, yes, into a Basanti Pulao. That's going to be right. We're also going to be adding some spices, because pulao does have spices. Some cinnamon, bay leaves, right? Some cloves and cardamom. Wonderful. Just going to give this a stir. Allow the aromas to come through for a few seconds. And I'm going to add in the turmeric powder into the ghee. And finally, the 𝗔𝗠𝗔𝗭 rice, which is absolutely flavorful rice from the West Bengal. Just add that in. I've washed it. And sugar to taste. And finally, some water. So for every cup of rice, I usually add 2 cups of water. So that's about it. This looks perfect. Now I'm just going to cover the pan and pressure cook it for about 2 whistles. Turn the heat to low, and after that simmer it for 3 minutes and turn off the heat, right? Not more than that, exactly that. And then allow the pressure to release naturally, so the rice will continue to cook in the pressure inside. And once the pressure releases, we'll open the cooker and toss in our cashew nuts and raisins. Now the pressure is released and I'm ready to open it. I allowed it to rest for about 15 minutes after the pressure was released, because you need to let the rice cool down a little bit. Okay, wonderful. So I'm just going to use a fork and gently fluff up the rice. Notice how beautifully it's cooked. This is exactly how I want it. It's not too grainy, it's not too soggy, but it's just got that perfect stickiness, right? And I love my rice to have that stickiness and the starch from the rice. This is just beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is to go ahead and add in the cashew nuts and raisins, and that's it. Basanti Pulao will be ready. And gently just give this mixture a stir, and wonderful. Just beautiful. It's not too sweet at all, you know. I just added a teaspoon of sugar, and it's got those raisins and cashew nuts and the spices and the light hint of turmeric to add to the beautiful color of the basanti. Just going to give it a taste. And with that touch of cashew nuts, I'm going to take that cashew nuts also out of it. Outstanding. The crunch of the cashew nuts and the raisins inside, I simply love it. I can just simply eat it. I'm such a rice lover that I can just keep eating rice along with some curry, along with some rice. And then this just acts as a dessert, you know. Can't wait it. So I really hope you enjoyed putting together this entire meal. Do give this a try, from making the 𝗔𝗭 kofta and a basanti pulao, and serve it along with a kulcha or a tawa paratha, or even a light full curd smeared with ghee. Serve it along with a salad. Salad can be as simple as sliced cucumber and tomatoes, or just some raw onions, or even some lauki, and just sprinkle some salt and pepper and lemon, and you're done for a great salad. So do give this entire meal a try, and when you do, don't forget to share your feedback in the comments below. What are the tweaks that you did, and how did you enjoy it with your family? We're looking forward to hearing from you. So until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.